My name is Mike Winters. I'm fighting out of Rochester, New York, and I'm fighting for Team Nasty Knuckles. When I walk into the cage, I honestly don't think that much. It's more a reaction. I've already trained hours and hours for this moment, and I'm just gonna let it go. I respect Josh a lot. I mean, he's had 16 pro fights. It's, a big accomplishment for anybody. When Josh Key looks across the cage at me, he's gonna see the total package. I can, take him on the feet. If we go to the ground, I feel like I'll dominate there as well. I trained as hard as ever for this fight. I feel great, I feel healthy. He's not ready for me. I picture this fight going, me coming forward, him backing up, and I'm just gonna keep coming at him until he stops.
Mike the Myth Winters making his way to the cage. He stands at 5'11", 26 years old with a record of 7-5. Do you know a little bit about this fighter, and can you explain about him?
Mike Winters, he's coming from sort of an unconventional background in mixed martial arts. He's a true karate guy. He spent 15 years training karate, and until Lyoto Machida really popularized the benefit of traditional martial arts training in the UFC, it was kind of unheard of. It was all Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it was all Muay Thai kickboxing. So 7-5 record. This guy's been fighting for a long, long time. He's a grinder, and he's really, really well-rounded. I mean, you don't have 12 professional fights without picking up a few tricks along the way.
And he is predicting he's going to win this contest via third-round TKO. Do you see any truth to that, Jackson, or how do you think this contest will play?
Mike Winters, he's a tough grappler. He's aggressive, like he said, so he's looking to get on top, drop elbows, and make the fight dirty. He's not necessarily the slickest guy, but he's kind of like a freight train, and you don't want to be caught standing in front of him, blinded by the headlights, so to speak. But Josh Key, man, I mean, with a record of 6-10, his opponent, on paper, doesn't look like the toughest guy, but Josh Key's beat some of the toughest guys on the East Coast. Mike Winters, not yet one of them, but these guys were destined to meet. I mean, veterans on the East Coast, doing the regional circuits, they need to establish dominance. They need to establish who's on top. And it's just a matter of time until these guys had to fight. So I like Mike Winters. He always brings it to the cage, always a tough guy, but he's got some holes in his game, for sure. Absolutely, he's got holes in his game.
Now, what would you say is his strong suit, Jackson?
He's a grinder, and some guys just don't have that mentality. They're not ready to go into overdrive when they need to. So he's just a scrambler, he's a grinder, and I wouldn't say he's got one aspect of his game that makes him world class. He's just really, really, really tough.
Hi, my name is Josh Key. I live in Park Amboy, New Jersey, and I train out of Freehold, New Jersey with Dante Rivera, BJJ. When I walk to the cage to go fight, I don't think about anything but my opponent and us putting on a great show for the fans. Like Mike Tyson said, you can't go into a fight with a game plan, because as soon as you get hit in the face, or as soon as he stops your game plan, then what happens then? I know that he's a worthy opponent, and we're gonna go in there and give the fans one of the best shows they've ever seen. We're both warriors. We're gonna come out there and do the best that we can. He's looking to win, I'm looking to win. We're just gonna push each other until one of us can't go no more. He's a goer, I'm a goer. That's the reason why they put us together.
Next fighter on the way to the cage is Josh Key, holding a record of 6-10. Not the most impressive, but don't take anything away from the guy. He's an absolute grinder inside the cage, outside the cage. 32 years old, another fighter training out of Dante Rivera BJJ, a very pro Dante Rivera BJJ crowd tonight. Jackson, tell me what you know about Josh Key.
Well, Josh Key, he's kind of an interesting study. Really tough guy, real aggressive stand-up fighter early on in his career. And then right around 2013, he learned leg locks. And now he is like the leg lock guy. And I asked Josh Key, Josh, what makes you so good at these leg locks where others have failed in mixed martial arts? And he said, and I quote, he was blessed by God.
Josh Key, like you said, very impressive with his heel hooks, his leg locks. He's amazing on the ground either way, but he just prefers his leg locks. I don't get it. He's blessed by God with it, but you know what? God bless him for it.
You couldn't have said it better. I mean, you know, 6-10, this guy's a showman. He likes to put on an entertaining fight. Sometimes, you know, not to his advantage. But Mike Winters is going to give him the scrambles. He's going to give him the situations where Josh Key can use some of that unorthodox grappling. And I think this fight plays really well into Josh Key's style.
Jackson, I couldn't agree more. We're in for an excellent bout. I can't wait to see it. How do you have it going? Who do you think is going to take this one home, Jackson?
I'm going to go on a ledge here. I'm going to say Josh Key by submission. I said it. Sorry,
Josh
Mike.
Key
Sorry, Mike.
by submission.
Real quick, shout out to the Boomers, the Keys, the Harvins, and the Gambles. Those are all family members of Josh Key. Wanted to make sure I gave them props. So there you go, guys. Boomers, Keys, Harvins, and Gambles. This fight's for you.
Josh Key getting checked out by the officials, about to enter the cage wearing the blue trunks. His opponent for the evening, Mike the Myth Winters, will be wearing the orange trunks. Our tale of the tape.
You know, physically, these guys are very similar in weight and height and all that stuff. They got Josh Key listed at 5'10". He's not 5'10", he's closer to 5'8". And Mike is just a rangier, longer fighter, but Josh doesn't play that game. This isn't a boxing match. This is a mixed martial arts fight.
All right, let's throw it up to our ring announcer.
And now for GPG 19's Fighters Against Bullying Extravaganza, the co-main event of the evening. To my left, I have a fighter with a 7-5 pro MMA record. This 26-year-old from Rochester, New York, stands at 5'11", weighs 171.5 pounds. He represents Team Nasty Knuckles. In the blue corner, Mike the Myth Winters. And to my right, we've got a fighter with a 7-10 pro MMA record. This 32-year-old, who, by the way, will be 33 tomorrow, but no singing happy birthday just yet, from Perth Amboy, New Jersey. He stands at 5'10", weighs 171 pounds, and he represents Dante Rivera, BJJ. In the red corner, Josh Key.
You know, Josh Key's joined on this card by teammates Tim Dooling and Greg Quarantonello, and sort of the rumors that I've heard from people associated with Dante Rivera, BJJ, and from the fighters themselves is that these training sessions are intense. These guys beat the living crap out of each other. So he's going to be well prepared for the veteran Mike Winters.
And you can already see from the gate how Mike Winters has that karate style base.
It's difficult to deal with, you know, when you're sparring against boxers and wrestlers and Muay Thai kickboxers. It's really hard to find a competent karate practitioner that can give you that style and that range. They just move differently. Their tells are different. It's very difficult to prepare for it. But you know, Josh's guy says he doesn't really study his opponent so much. He focuses more on what he can do and how he's going to win. And so, great approach to this fight because Mike's just an unorthodox guy.
And Josh Key looks, you know, completely calm and collected as could possibly be right now. I got a chance to talk to Josh before the fight and just ask him what his interests are outside of the cage. You know, what keeps him, you know, just a level person. He says, I quote this, "I like to help people and teach the underprivileged kids. Other than that, nothing much. I work and struggle just like an average person, nothing special."
Yeah, he's just a really understated guy. It was like pulling teeth getting him to answer some of my interview questions. But, you know, he's a fighter. He does his talking in the cage. And I'm really impressed. Just the composure. When you have 16 professional fights, somebody takes you down onto your back, it's just not a big deal. And you're right back up. But,
Mike Winters with the heavy slam there.
Maybe spoke a little bit too early. I mean, Mike Winters is kind of just holding on.
Yeah.
It's not really giving Josh anything to work with. It's somewhat of a stalemate, but, you know, I'm a little wary of guys hanging out on their back because when the judges are looking in and they see that you're on bottom and your opponent's on top, no matter really what else is happening, you're losing.
Exactly, and I understand trying to tire somebody out, wear them down, and let them tire themselves out in the process. But like you said, they're losing.
Yeah, unless he thinks he's gonna lock up a submission or finish this fight, you don't want to go into rounds 2 and 3 down on the scorecards. You don't want to be, backed into a corner having to pull something out, that Hail Mary punch, that Hail Mary choke. And Mike Winter's very tough, but he's not really doing anything to finish the fight here. He's just sort of holding on and chipping away at the clock. Not my favorite style of fighting.
Maybe not your favorite style of fighting, but it's definitely proving to be effective. But at the same token, not necessarily the fans' favorite style of fighting either.
Here's the thing. Josh Key's starting to warm up, and that first couple minutes is real chaotic, but as you get into the fight, Josh Key's probably thinking, this guy can't hurt me.
Josh Key just looks irritated right now.
I'm irritated. I want to see fireworks. I'm irritated. Mike Winters, do something. Transition. Get to mount. Throw some punches. Do something.
Change position.
Yeah.
Advance position.
So, here we go. And
back to their feet.
Why didn't Josh Key just do that earlier? It looks like it was effortless. Like he just, press a button and he's up on his feet again, like it's a video game.
Again, Josh Key in the blue trunks and Mike the Myth Winters in the orange.
Mike's fighting real hard for these takedowns, but why? I gotta ask him, why do you want a takedown? What are you gonna do with it? You're gonna, sit on him and hope to win the fight by laying on your opponent? You can do that. Your record may improve, but that's a dangerous game to play.
It's also an easy way to lose fans.
Yeah. What they got right in front of them is a trained fighter trying to take their head off. So winning and losing fans, that's just sort of something they're going to consider after the fact. But nice transition here from Josh Key, trying to take the back, but Mike's doing a really good job of keeping his back to the cage and preventing that back take. And Josh Key's got to transition to something else. That opportunity's gone. That window's closed.
That's a hard position. Can you explain just being pressed against the cage, sitting on your bottom? He's back to his feet now, but
it takes a lot out of you. You're like a table, and the other guy's just resting himself against you. You're just carrying all their weight, and it can really wear you out into the later rounds. I don't see Mike Winters able to keep this up for 3 rounds.
No, not at all. He's getting the takedowns and the dumps and everything, but at the same token, it's rough.
Yeah, Josh Key's he's got some opportunities here for some funky stuff. 30 seconds left on the clock. This is kind of whereas cornerman, I would say go for broke, try something. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work. You'll be saved by the bell no matter what happens.
20 seconds left. Now I got to ask you, Jackson, with Josh being such a leg lock fan and everything, can he circle and try and get it from this position?
It's tough. He can try, but the cage is in the way right now.
Yeah.
So if they were in the center of the ring, he'd have some opportunities. But bottom half guard's not the best place. Full mount is not the best place.
All right, let's check out the replay from round 1 between Mike the Myth Winters and Josh Key. Take us through it, Jackson.
Story of the fight: these guys leaning on each other. A little bit of action, some punches, some takedowns, blah, 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 blah. Mike Winters, he's getting some takedowns. It's sort of like setting himself up for victory and then not capitalizing.
You have to swim that underhook in. He's locking his hands. Swim the underhook and bring him up, okay? No. He's burnt, okay? You get on top this round. Get the takedown, get on top, okay? And pass the guard. Relax. I want to see elbows on top, right? Stop letting him take you down. You got to push the head and climb. Push the head. You're not pushing the head, just sitting there. Giving the round away. Don't give the round away. Get this round back, all right? Let's go. This guy's
I couldn't agree more with Coach Dante. Josh Key's doing a good job of staying composed, but he's not winning the fight. Josh Key needs to capitalize on the mistakes that Mike Winters is making. Otherwise, he's going to lose a very boring fight that he could I think, easily win.
Couldn't agree more, Jackson. On to the second round. Wow.
Where did that come from? That's what I'm talking about.
Solid leg kick from Josh Key.
That's what I'm talking about. Josh Key, you need to go. You need to make something happen.
There's hammer fist to the side of the head. Cannot feel good, Jackson. He's going for the dump, but...
Oh, big slam. Now we got a fight on our hands, Adam.
I'm almost wondering right now, Jackson, is he constantly going for the takedown because maybe he's a little gassed at this point? Take us through what you think is happening.
You know, I mean, Josh Key's a powerful, dangerous striker, and that's where he started his career. He was a striker. He would try to knock you out. If I was Mike Winters, I'd try to take Josh Key down too. Now, you obviously gotta worry about those leg locks, but you want to be on top in this fight. You don't want to contest it in the center of the ring, trading leather with a guy who can knock you out with his hands, elbows, knees, shins, you know, nose, ear. I mean, this guy, he's a tough dude. That is a very tight body triangle that Mike Winters has, and
he's actively looking for the rear naked, but Josh Key is definitely intelligently defending.
Yeah, you know, Josh Key's got to stay on that wrist control. So a lot of times what happens with these fighters, they peel that hand off their neck and then let go of the wrist. And where does that hand go? Right back to the neck. Okay, here we are again. Establish that wrist control, isolate the hands, take them out of the picture, and then improve your position. Otherwise, you're just swimming against the current. It doesn't make any sense, but, you know, it's tough to think clearly in the middle of the cage, and this is a bad position for Josh. This is a real bad position.
And it's not looking like he's improving the position much.
He's treading water at this point, but no life jacket, you know? He's treading water. It's a matter of time. You know, Mike Winters, he just needs a little push.
Now, Jackson, tell the fans that may not know the positioning that's happening right now, what can Josh Key do to get out of this position, such a dangerous position?
Okay, well, the body triangle from rear mount is a little bit different than having what we call both hooks in. So you notice that the body triangle is on the top side of Josh Key, on his right hip.
Yeah.
What he needs to do is he needs to get that body triangle onto the bottom side. So he needs to turn his hip over so that he's on his right hip, and then he can start to smash and escape and weasel out. In this position, it's all Mike Winters all day. All day. You know, and again, hand fight, control the wrist. And so he's not doing anything to really address the wrist. He's trying to get into a street fight with the guy behind him. Never a good plan.
And when we talked to Mike Winters before the fight, he predicted the third round TKO. It looks like he's going for anything but right now, Jackson, or even in the entire fight.
Yeah, I mean, he's in a really great position to finish, and those MMA gloves make it real tough to slide the hand in for the choke, but he's going for what we call a gable grip rear naked choke. This could be it.
It's looking close, Jackson.
It's close, but Josh Key's doing just enough to slide out. But without addressing that body triangle, we're just gonna sort of replay this thing over and over again. You know? Attack the neck, peel the hands, attack the neck, peel the hands, and before you know it, Josh Key's down 2 rounds to none.
Just about a minute and a half left in this round as Mike Winters is posting up for some ground and pound and switching into looking for the submission again.
It's tough. In a regular jiu-jitsu match, without the MMA gloves on, it's easy to slide those hands under the neck, but there's just a lot of mass there. You have to take a different approach, and if the guy whose back you have is doing a really good job of defending, it can be tough. Wow. Josh Key.
And there he goes, going for the heel.
Heel hook, but they call it a heel hook, Adam, but it's a knee lock. And if you don't have that knee controlled, it doesn't matter how hard you twist that ankle, they're just going to spin out.
And you know, Jackson, tell us, some jiu-jitsu tournaments, they ban the heel hook. Why is it such a dangerous submission that some people will not allow it?
Well, sort of the rationale behind that is you go from fine to completely obliterated in a span of like a fraction of a second. So you don't have that pain receptor in your knee telling you that you're about to be crippled. Something's going on here. It's hard to see from this angle, but Mike Winters' knee is in a really bad position. What? And then here we go. Gasparov, we're standing him up. Not really sure what that was all about, but check that out. Check that out on the replay for sure.
Again, Winters pressing Josh Key up against the cage. Less than 10 seconds left.
Look at that bruise on Mike Winters' right thigh, or left thigh.
Just saw that, Jackson.
Ouch. You know, if I was Josh Key, I'd be just attacking that leg.
Absolutely. Now let's check out our replay.
Huge spinning back heel kick from Josh Key. I want to see a little bit more of that from him, but there's that kick we were talking about.
That's where the bruise came from.
One kick.
One single kick.
One single kick. And, Josh Key doing a good job of escaping and defending against the rear mount, but again, it's riding time, as they call it. and kind of a lackluster heel hook attempt, but not enough to do anything.
Look at me. Listen, go around. Look at me. You will win if you listen to what I tell you, okay? Double leg off the back, put him on his back. As soon as he puts his ankle up, shoot the elbow, put him on his back. Put him on his back, okay? Put him on his back, get him to go ground and pound for the whole round. Bust him open with elbows. Let's go.
Stay on your back, Josh. You go on top for him. You go on top.
Seconds out, and we're getting ready to start the last round of the evening. Tell us about that last round.
You know, well, Coach Dante in between rounds telling Josh, look, get on top. Don't play his game. Shoot a double right off the bat. Put him on his back and open him up. And that's what Josh has got to do. He's down 2 rounds to none. I can say that with utmost confidence. He is absolutely losing this fight. And it's got to be frustrating for a coach to watch a fighter just cruise to defeat. I mean, he's just sort of chilling. Like it's just a day at the beach. Josh Key.
We heard from Rivera's corner, and we heard from Josh Key's corner. If you were in Mike Winch's corner, what would you tell him to do right now?
More of the same. It's not exciting. You're not gonna win any fans. You're not gonna knock anybody out, but you're gonna win the fight. Just if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
At the end of the day, that's what's most important is winning the fight. But like you said, you're not gonna get any new fans in the process, but you will advance your record.
You know, I mean, you're 7-5. You've been around for a while. You know, UFC's not going to be knocking down your door anytime soon. Fight to win. You know, fight to win the important matches, improve your record a little bit. But just from both these fighters, I mean, I see so much potential from these guys, and they're not going for it.
And even, correct me if I'm wrong, Jackson, but even when Mike goes for the dumps, they don't look like a Matt Hughes type dump back in the day. Not very powerful. He's kind of guiding him to the ground. Am I correct?
He's guiding him to the ground. He's content to out-position, out-strategize, if you will, his opponent. But this is a fight, you know. Fight to win, fight to finish. Gasper Oliver not impressed, stands him back up, losing patience with Mike Winter's approach to, as we say, lay and pray. And Josh Key's doing a really good job of defending that takedown.
Oh, nice head kick from Key. And it looks like Mike Winter's in desperation mode right now, Jackson.
You know, he's really good at doing what he's doing, but Josh Key's got a standing guillotine here.
Right in front of us.
That elbow, he needs to get that left elbow up. Mike Winter did a really good job of threading the needle, eliminating the pressure on his neck. Man, close. Josh Key just so close so many times, it's just not enough.
I'm trying to figure out where the blood on Mike Winter's head's coming from, and if it is, in fact, getting in his eye. Maybe that is potentially why he's continuing to shoot. I wonder if it's messing with his vision, Jackson.
It might be. I mean, Josh has landed a few grazing knees to the head, nothing substantial, but it doesn't, when you got bone on bone, it doesn't take much to split somebody's face open. And the face bleeds a lot. I mean, it's super dramatic. You know, looks great on camera, but fighters doesn't really bother the fighters too much unless it's getting in your eye.
Very superficial wound, would you say so?
Yeah, 100%. You know, 2.5 minutes left in this round. Mike Winter's on top. You see that? Josh he accepted guard. He's accepting his position. And, you know, I don't know what he's doing. I can guarantee you that Coach Dante Rivera, a very accomplished Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, is not encouraging him to cuff Mike Winter's ears from bottom guard. I can guarantee that. And Gasper Oliver, you know.
Standing right back up. Jackson, I can't take my eyes off that bruise. That one single kick. Imagine how that bruise is going to look tomorrow.
It's going to look a lot worse. He's going to have trouble putting his pants on. But at the end of the day, you know, no matter how bad Mike Winters is hurting tomorrow, he's going to walk out of this cage the victor unless Josh Key's able to do something in the next minute and 45 seconds. Tough position for both fighters. I mean, Mike Winters kind of in this limbo of not fully on his back, but not really in a position to get back to his feet either. And Josh Key's doing what he has to do.
And Josh Key's standing back up. He's dropping back down with the knees to the sternum. That feels horrible. I know that for a fact.
It feels horrible. Is it enough to take Mike Winters out? No. He's got to make elbows. Guillotine choke, something.
He's got to make something happen, Jackson. He only has a minute left to make it happen.
And Mike Winters is a gritty guy. He's not easy to finish by any means. I mean, attack a leg, you know, force him to tap. He's not going to quit.
Now, Jackson, some of Josh Key's cornermen are telling him to stand up right now. Would you agree?
I would agree. I mean, you got more of a puncher's chance on your feet than you do inside somebody's guard where they can control your posture. I mean, punching power comes from the ground up. Full body torsion, driving off the ball of your foot, explosive ballistic movement. You just don't have that when you're on your knees.
30 seconds left in this contest between Josh Key, who dropped again for the leg.
He doesn't have anything in this position. He's falling back into those leg locks without first controlling the knee, as we talked about.
Is he going for the toe?
There may be a toe hold here, but Mike Winters, 10 seconds.
10 seconds, maybe too little, too late.
Yeah, this one's going to the judges, and I think we can both agree. Pretty straightforward decision, unless they were, playing on their iPads.
I'd be pretty shocked to see if Mike Winters didn't take this contest.
Yeah. Unfortunately for the fans, decision.
But you know what? It's fight. It happens.
These things do happen, but I want to see some explosion. I want to see, the prime Josh Key, because at his best, he can beat anybody.
Absolutely.
After 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Kroick scores the fight 29-28 for the blue corner. Judge Mason scores the fight 29-28 for the red corner. Judge Sinclair scores the fight 29-28 for the winner by split decision from the blue corner, Mike Winters.
Just like we said, Jackson, it was a little closer than what I thought. I didn't expect the split decision. I'm wondering if they can have a potential rematch. And let's throw it up to Bob Maloney.
Thanks, guys. Mike Winters, first of all, let me say everybody should give it up for both of these guys. Both of those guys, that's what mixed martial arts is about. They left it in the cage. Neither of these guys had anything left to give after that great performance, Mike. Back and forth, striking, grappling. Tell us how you feel right now.
Oh man, I'm exhausted right now, holy smokes. Trying to finish that guy with the rear naked choke in the second round. Blew my arms out, and I basically had to try to survive that third round against that beast.
Well, I saw that you tried to fight out from a couple of leg locks. I know that's a specialty. I'm sure you're working on that in your preparation for the fight. Let me just say it was a great performance again. You left everything out there. We look forward to you returning again.
Yeah, thank you, I appreciate it. And thank you everybody for coming out. I want to give you guys a hand.
Mike Winters, ladies and gentlemen, give it up.